Ask him about David Currie.
Again, it's another story that I tell on the circuit where David. Do you want to hear it? The story, yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
David Currie was signed from my local club, Barnsley, for a lot of money. He'd scored a load of goals in the league below, and Forest signed him, but he didn't abide by the rules. David Currie was a centre forward who occasionally liked to flick the ball around the corner. And I remember one game we playing, the ball got played into him on the halfway line, and he didn't get hold of the ball, which was one of the rules. He tried to flick it. It got intercepted. Queen's Park Rangers went down the other end of the field and scored. There was 35 minutes gone roughly in the game, 10 minutes to half time. And back then, it wasn't the electronic scoreboards where you make substitutions and things. It was a box at the side of the dugout with numbers 1 to 11 in.
Okay.
So as I've thrown the ball back to the halfway line to get the game restarted, I look over and Brian Clough stood on the halfway line with the number 10 aloft, which David Currie was wearing. And he's shouting, "Off, off. We don't flick the ball at this club, son. Off you come." So David Currie goes running up the tunnel. Now, because he's not abiding by the rules, he's gone to flick the ball. Luckily, we won the game anyway.
Yeah.
But when he took David Currie off, he forgot to put a substitute on. Well, that's what we thought. He forgot to put a sub on. And Archie Gemmell is shouting to him, "Gaffy, you need to put a sub on." And Clough is going, "Let him cope. Let him cope." Now, we're 1-0 down at home, 10 minutes ago to half time, and he doesn't put a sub on.
Jeez.
And he puts a sub on at half time. We'll go and win the game, I think, 2-1. So he's got to get rid of David Currie. So he's got a plan.
Yeah.
So David Currie parks. He told everybody he was a collector of classic cars. And one day he drives in a purple Ford Capri, which classic car probably is now. It wasn't then. It was just a normal run of the mill car. But he parks it in the manager's spot. So Piercy goes, "Hey lads, you got to come and have a look at this." Now the gaffer's left his office. He's spotted this car, and the gaffer's secretary Carol has said it's David Currie's car. So now's the chance to strike and get rid. So he walks up to the car and he's got his tennis racket and he hits the car with a tennis racket, and we're all laughing and joking, and David Currie wasn't very happy. But then we went training, and about 15 minutes into training, the manager appears, and we're doing our warm up at the far end of the pitch there, and Archie Gemmell is the coach then, and the gaffer appears with his dog and his tennis racket, and we're all looking over, and he shouts over to Archie Gemmell, Arch, bring him in. So we all go jogging over to where Archie Gemmell stood, where the manager stood, and he goes, "Whose is that car in my car park?" So David Currie puts his hand up. Now, David Currie's already played 4 games in the first team, scored 1 goal. He puts his hand up, and the manager said to him, "What's your name, son?" He said, "David Currie." He said, where's David Currie from? He said, "You've just signed me from Barnsley." He said, "Barnsley?" So then Cloughie points at me, and Cloughie also used to call me the imbecile, right? So he points at me, he goes, Barnsley, that's where the imbecile's from," points at me, right? So I'm like, what's it got to do with me? So he goes, "David Currie, can I ask you a question, son?" He said, "Yeah, fire away." He said, "Have you bought an house in the Nottingham area yet?" And he says, "No, boss." He says, "I haven't." He says, "But I'm looking." He went, "Let me stop you there, son. Don't fucking bother." So that was the end of David Currie. He got rid of David Currie the week after for flicking the ball on the halfway line, not getting hold of it.
That's amazing.
Imagine it. You think you're making it up, don't you? It's unbelievable.